Sports Dad is in the building once again, back with some more recruiting information. All right, so we're gonna get into a wonderful topic today. And the topic I wanna talk about is high school. What high school should my child, or as a player, what high school should I go to, right? All right, so that's what we're gonna actually talk about. So before we actually do that though, and before we get into the recruiting information, you know what I want you to do. You already know what time it is. Go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification button. That's by the subscribe button. And also like the video. Let me know that you're liking the information. You know, you can also leave a comment in the comment section to let me know that you're liking this information too. All right, once again, just a little cause that's out there. Listen, I am not a recruiting expert, but I definitely believe that you can take away some information that can help you make a decision, or help you put you in the right direction, I should say, to be able to put you and your child on the right path, right? And so, so that's what this is all about. Is just trying to, you know, just give a little extra boost of help and an extra boost of direction. So let's jump into it, okay? I apologize if you hear any background noise, but you know, I came upstairs and I'm recording upstairs, so you know, my children are running around and you know, they're doing stuff. So if you hear some noise, just, you know, just ignore it or whatever. But hey, I'm a family man, what can I say? All right, so the high school. So let me just tell you about my mistake. So number one, I chose going to a specific high school based upon, based upon me feeling like the chance that I would get. So in other words, I felt like I could stand out at this particular high school because, you know, they didn't have, they had the talent, but I should say they wasn't known for their athletics, right? That's it. They had the talent, but they wasn't known for their athletics. And so, so what I decided to do, I said, hey, you know, well, maybe I can help with that by, you know, taking, you know, my talents over to the high school or whatnot, and I'll get a better opportunity and more opportunity to play. I don't have to sit behind nobody, probably because, you know, I will probably be the best. And that was my thought process, and that was my attitude, right? And I'm going to tell you that that was probably the worst decision that I could have made. Although I met great people, you know, made nice friends or whatnot, but as far as the direction that I wanted to go and be recruited and things like that, that was probably the worst decision that I could have made. All right, and so so rule number one: don't make a decision based upon the needs of the high school. So in other words, if they're not really known for their athletics, and you think that just because, you know, you can go there and you can stand out and you can change that, that's not a really good decision for you to make, for you to actually go and be a part of a high school. That's probably, I would say that that's probably a recipe for disaster, okay? So I would, so you know, so what would you do, how should you do it? I say that you make a decision off of going to a high school, or as a parent, you want your child to be a part of something that's already great, all right? That's already accomplishing the goal that's in mind, right? So, and why is that? Because number one, it's a whole lot of reasoning for it, but the reasons that really stick out to me is competitiveness, number one. You want to put your child, or as a player, you want to go someplace where you know that you're going to be challenged to compete, right? If you're going to go to a place where you're going to be the best, then at some point you're going to get a wake-up call, all right? You're going to get a wake-up call because at the next level, you know, especially at college or at Division I level, there's going to be people, I mean, everybody's good. You got people that's being recruited from all over the country, right? That's topping their class. So everybody is good. So at some point you're going to get a wake-up call. But if you go to a high school where they're already mimicking that, where the talent is just as good, right? You know, at your level or better, right? That's going to cause you to compete. And so, and that's what you want. You want to be pushed. And so, but if you go to a high school that, you know, that's not really happening there, and the talent is not really there, that's going to cause you to compete, and you're going to be considered the best all the time. No, you become the best by playing against the best. And so that's what I would say. And then also too, another point to think about is that if a high school is already proven themselves, they have the plug to colleges. They're sending kids to colleges. Division I colleges already, have already recruited from this particular high school. The coach has a relationship with D1 colleges. That is where you want to go. That is where you want to go. And of course, this information I'm talking about can go for basketball and football. Now, for basketball, we know that most of the time, you can definitely get recruited playing AAU. But if your high school coach has a connection with Division I colleges, then that is a good, I would say that's a great start. And personally, I feel that all high school coaches should have connects with Division I colleges. Why do you say that? Because your job as a high school coach should not just be, I just want to coach the team and win. No, I want to see these guys go to school. So as a high school coach, I need to make sure that I'm doing what I can too to get my guys looked at, right? And you got some high school coaches out there that that could care less about that. That could care less about getting your child's name out there to be recruited or developing relationships to Division I colleges with Division I colleges. All they want to do is just come, show up, and coach, collect their money and be done with it, right? And I've heard of some horror stories with that, because the truth of the matter is that they don't have to, but they should. They should. Why? Because that helps their program if they care anything about winning. Because at the end of the day, people are attracted to winning. So if I got kids and if I'm busting my butt to develop relationship with Division I coaches because I got nice talent and I want them to be looked at by Division I coaches, guess what? Other players are going to come to that school, and guess what? The legacy of the winning pattern has begun. It's going to continue. So that's why you as a coach, and if you're a coach and you watching this and you haven't been really good and strong in that area, make a change now, because guess what? You're doing your players a disservice if you're not busting your butt and trying to get them recruited. And it would definitely, you talk about, I can't get any talent at this school, I can't do, well, talent would come if they know that you really have their best interest at heart and you sending kids to school, period. And that's what you as a parent and as a player should look at when you are actually selecting a high school. Now, granted, you cannot forget about academics. Academics is a given, okay? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to always be playing, a sport. So, so what that means is that you have to care about academics and that's a whole different topic, and we're going to talk about that. But of course, you want to make sure that the high school is good with academics as well, right? But most importantly, you want to make sure that it's good at academics, and you want to make sure that the sports is where it needs to be, that the coach has the college connects, all right? So now I want to talk about another point, because even with the high school, if they got the college connects, if they got the wonderful academic program that's going on for the high school, right? Then a question comes to mind is that will my kid be lost in the shuffle, or will I get lost in the shuffle as a player? Well, at the end of the day, once again, it goes back to the other video that I posted, right? Your child has to have that understanding, and the goal in mind is that when they're put into a situation, they have to be able to thrive and make a name for themselves to be able to stand out, right? That's their job, right? And of course, I hope you wouldn't send your child to a powerhouse athletic school if they're not ready to compete and expecting to actually, get looked at by a Division I college if they're not ready. That's your job to make sure that they're ready, right? So, but getting lost in the shuffle, that's really kind of like up to the child, I would say. So it's kind of like a fine line there. So choosing the high school, academics, athletics, and if they got those two things working for them, and the coach, has already has a proven track record, he's busting his butt, and that's his goal, to send people to, sending his kids to college, then that's a great start. That's where you should go, because you're going to be challenged to compete, right? And then he's already got the connect, so he already know what's up. Now, here's the thing, as a parent, I highly encourage you as a parent, before you send your child anywhere, have a conversation with the coach. There's nothing wrong with that. Some may disagree with that, but there's nothing wrong with you having a conversation with the coach, letting the coach know, like, hey, this is what, my son is, my child is looking to do, and this is what, and I want to make sure that he's in the best position to do that, right? And so there's nothing wrong with you letting the coach know where you stand with that. It's better to be honest up front than to, not be honest and then have these expectations, and then when those expectations are not met, then you're just, then you're upset. So don't set yourself up for failure, right? Have a conversation with the coach, and some may disagree too, but I really think having a relationship, to a certain degree, with the coach is necessary too. And that's a fine line with that too, because at the end of the day, you don't want a coach to be thinking like, okay, every time he makes a move, or it's going to be questioned, or he's going to hear from you, or anything like that. That's not the type of relationship that I'm talking about. I'm talking about a relationship where he understands, where he knows where you're coming from, right? And he knows that you are, as a parent, are going to support him, or he or she or whatever, right? You're going to support them, as they coach their team and coach your child. And so, and if you're sending your child to a school, that's basically saying that you're trusting the situation. And so that coach should know that you're trusting the situation and you're not going to question, his every move. And so that's not the type of relationship that I'm talking about. But I'm talking about a relationship, with the coach that, you guys talk about the goal that's in mind, which is, hey, I just want to make sure that I'm putting my kids in the best situation to be recruited. I believe that they have the ability to play Division I, and they know that they have the ability to play Division I, ball as well. And so that's the goal in mind, and that's what we're looking to do, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And so, and from that point on, now the relationship is built, because guess what? You had an understanding, you had a conversation, you talked. When you see the coach, in passing, whatnot, there's nothing wrong with speaking to him. What's up, coach? Good, good game, whatever. Great job with the team, and just keep it moving, right? You don't want to coach. You don't want to question, what they're doing as a coach, their play calling, or anything like that, unless he's welcoming that, unless he's asking for that information. But if they're not asking for that information, then don't overstep the boundaries. Don't overstep your boundaries. But definitely have a relationship with the coach. But a more so hands-off relationship, not a hands-on relationship. That's it. Hands-on relationship, which means that you're questioning his every move. You're questioning why he's doing this with your child. You're questioning why your child is not playing, this much or whatever. No, that's your child's job. That is your child's job. And I feel like I'm giving too much information right now, but that is your child's job. How to speak up for themselves. You got to talk to them and tell them how to speak up for themselves. If they don't feel like they're getting enough playing time, then tell them to ask the coach, hey coach, is it something that I'm doing wrong, or what can I do to get more playing time? Is there something that I need to work on or whatever? There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to put it to your child for your child to be able to speak up, right? Because now you're preparing them for the next level. You can't call the college and say, hey, college coach, why you're not playing my kid or whatever. You can't do that. So you might as well get them in the habit of speaking up for themselves, which could be uncomfortable, and that's a whole nother topic. But definitely the player should be developing a relationship with the coach as well. Why? Because it's the coach that's going to be making the moves for them. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be making it happen. They're going to be on the phone talking to different college coaches and things like that, having them come out and look at the player. So it behooves the player to develop a relationship with the coach in the coach's face. When the coach, says something to them or correcting them or whatnot, yes, coach, shaking their hand, after practice or whatnot. I can remember, I coach AAU basketball, and there's this one kid, I'm not going to say his name and put him out there, but after every practice, he walks up to me and he shakes my hand. He's a great player too, can shoot the lights out. He comes and he shakes my hand and he says, thanks, coach. And I'm like, well, I appreciate it, but you don't have to do it every time. But what he's doing is he's making sure that, he's in the coach's face, right? And that he's serious about his craft. And so there's nothing wrong with that. But make sure that you have a relationship with your coach. I highly recommend that, all right? So it's a lot of information that we just covered. in this particular video. You're talking about the high school that, what high school that you should go to or whatnot. And in some instances, parents, it may mean that you have to travel a little bit too, depending upon what high school you're selecting, right? Because at the end of the day, even if it may be convenient for you to send them to a high school that's in the neighborhood or a high school where all their friends are going to, you're doing them a disservice if that high school don't have a thriving academics and athletic program, right? You want to send them to a place where it's already happening. We already talked about the reasonings, but the competitiveness, the preparation, for the next level academically as well, and they have a proven track record. So, hey, you want to put them in the position and put them in the right spots, and then you got to let them go. Like, hey, go get it. It's on you. All right, I can't do it for you. So, all right, so that's a lot of information. So we'll be back though with more information, of course. And I'm telling you guys, I got the interviews coming up. Don't sleep on me. All right, please leave a comment. Let me know that you enjoyed this information. If you got some information that you want to share too, put it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification button so that you'll be getting the notifications when I post a new video. All right, you guys take care. I'll be back. Deuces.